Cheers! Welcome to my channel. This is a timely tarot oracle reading about random shift. If you resonate with the title and or the thumbnail, this is the perfect reading for you, delivered at the perfect time in timely fashion, courtesy of the universe through the language of synchronicity. This is a collective or general reading, so parts may or may not resonate. Take what works for you, leave the rest. And also, this is a timely reading, meaning if you're watching it at this time, it is the perfect time for you. Having said that, if it's been a while since I posted this, what was going on in your life back then? That may have more clarity for you regarding your situation now. So we have the underlying energy from the reading. Whoops, we have the devil upside down, but it's because my whole deck is upside down. Unfortunately, he's here. This is an amazing start. So the devil is about temptation, and these two lovers are chained, they're yoked to each other, and they're chained to Saturn's box. And the devil is hunched above them here. And this is, and he's in between them. And the way he's sitting here represents animal instinct. So that this is not actually love. They're lovers, but it's all about lust. And and so this is representing temptation. And we can all fall for temptation. The devil is not able to do his own dirty work, so he always gets a minion to do it for him. And so I always, you're not going to get the truth from the devil, so I always take the next card up. And I want to see what minion does he send in? What is it about? And or does God stop it from taking place? And what do we have? Okay. We have someone who is not living, they feel that they're not living their life, they're not getting as much return on their investment as they should be. This is the Seven of Pentacles, and in tarot, the pentacles represent the health, wealth, and happiness in the 3D. A big part of that, of course, is coin. But you could have all the money in the world and still not be living the lifestyle that you want. And that's what's happened here now, because this person has decided to take a shortcut and do it the devil's way. And so now it's he's not getting the return that he thought he was going to get on his investment. So let's see what's going on here. We have the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth comes out. So help you God. And so this is talking about a gift from the divine, basically. So I feel that this is representing someone in your external forces that was hoping to get away with some sort of shift with the devil here, and he didn't get the return on his investment that he thought that was promised by the devil, which always happens in the end when you deal with the devil, because the devil's very manipulative, and things you only get half the story. So let's see what happened here. Okay, so the truth is that there's some remorse or regret around a significant relationship in your life. Now this card here represents regret or remorse. If you've ever heard the saying, don't cry over spilt milk, it's because once the milk is spilt into the ground, you're not going to be able to, it's a loss, and you just have to accept the loss. In this case, we have 3 cups here, and 2 of them have wine in them, and one of them has basically another liquid, which would be poisonous for this relationship, because it indicates that there is 3 people involved in what was supposed to be a couple. Now, this could be your regret and remorse for having been with someone that would cheat on you, or you were the one that was cheating, that kind of energy. We'll see. The best thing that at this point that someone can do when they're in this position is recognize that the loss is there and there's nothing you can do about it. So the best thing you can do is turn around and notice, hey, there's 2 cups standing here. Walk down the path, pick them up, walk down the path, cross the bridge over troubled water, and get to your castle. The castle is now half dilapidated and half standing, which represents your attitude. Are you going to have the attitude that the glass is half full or the glass is half empty? Let's see what happens. We have the Page of Wands. So the Page of Wands, then, this is speaking about a younger individual. The pages would work for the king and queen around 7 to 14 years of age, and they would be running small tasks within the palace walls. They would come from the surrounding families of, you know, the higher upper class, and be in training to work for the palace. And you know, their main function would be to deliver messages within the palace walls. And as they got more mature, they would be given more and more responsibility, until at the age of 21, if they were still suitable for the job, they would maybe, if they could afford a horse, they might be considered for knighthood. Now, the Page of Wands, when the pages come up, it's about communication coming in, and also about a youthful individual. When we're talking about youthful individual, I mean youthful attitude, not necessarily age-wise. So someone could be like 70 and be in this youthful energy, and someone who is 20 could be like old already. You may have met people like that. So this is talking about kind of a state of being. And when the communication comes in the old days, it would always be in person, but now it could be in person, but it also could be a letter in the mail, it could be a phone call, a text message, maybe on social media you get a message, or you see an event and you decide, oh, I'm going to head out for that, and you go to the event and you run into someone who's is exactly the information that you needed. And another good place to get communication and information is just to take even 5 minutes to find out what's going on in the world at the top of the pyramid, because for sure whatever's happening at the top of the pyramid is definitely trickling down to the people underneath. And the Page of Wands, his element is the element of fire, and it's represented by this wand. The wand is made of wood because the wood fuels fire. And it also represents the ancestors, like, because it's a tree, the deep roots of the ancestors, and the offshoots here are the branches of the descendants. This Page of Wands is very, very focused on his wand. As you can see, he's looking up to it and admires it greatly. This energy is very enthusiastic and passionate, but the thing is with the Page of Wands, when his communication comes in, you want to be careful to take it a bit with a grain of salt, because he quite often is thinking with his little head instead of his big head. And maybe that's the reason why we have this situation right here. All right, and then we have 3 more cups here. So cups do represent romantic love in the tarot, but they can also represent love of something or someone, as well as something you love to do or love to be. When this card comes in, it is a card of celebration, but these people are not celebrating each other. If you notice, no one's looking at each other here. They're looking at the cup. So they're actually are celebrating an event. And quite often, like in a lot of cultures, and particularly in Europe, if you toast someone and you don't look at them, they'll freak out, because they have a superstition there where if you toast someone and you don't look them in the eye, it causes 7 years bad luck for both of you in your romantic love life. And so they take it quite seriously, and they insist that you look me in the eye. So this energy is talking about you know, people that, there's 3 people here. So if this is romantic love and they're not looking at each other, they're basically defeating the purpose of the toast. So I feel like whatever they are celebrating, sometimes this can represent gossip and slander as well. Like they're celebrating because something happened to someone and they find it funny, or that kind of energy. We'll see. We have discernment. So the Queen of Swords is coming in here now, and she's sitting on her throne. Now she's been there, she's done that. She has the t-shirt. She does not want to put up with any bullshit from anyone. Her head is above the clouds, and she now has total clarity now that the truth came in. And she doesn't want to take any bullshit from anyone. If you're going to come into her, you better come in correct or off with your head. That's the mood she's in. And she does have her left hand extended, so she does want to know the information. She wants to know what happened to her pentacles. That's what she wants to know. So this is the energy representing if you're resonating with this reading, this is your energy right now. And so at one point, this can represent someone that is married and is now divorced or separated or thinking about doing so. And it could have been because of this energy. But, well, let's keep going and see what else is going on here. We have the Two of Wands. So the Two of Wands represents someone that is standing at the top of the turret of their castle, and they've been very successful. They're holding the world in their hands. I have the world in my hands. Except they understand that where they are, it's a smaller center. And maybe like this wand, quite often it reminds me of someone who maybe is a real successful entrepreneur. And they have planted, like they've done really, really well and been successful where they're at. But they feel like a big fish in a little pond. And they know that if they moved to a bigger center, they would now be a little fish in a big pond. So they're contemplating maybe franchising their business or starting a new location or going off in another direction. Sometimes this can represent wanting to expand your horizons and raise a family, maybe find a lover, maybe been very focused on work. And that's why it's so disappointing, because they've been wanting to do better than this. 1 pentacle and 6, I mean, there's only 10 pentacles in the tarot. So 7 pentacles is nothing to sneeze at, but if you put 6 pentacles of energy in and you only get 1 pentacle out of it, there's something fishy there. Something's not quite right. Yes, this is more what you want. This is like the 10 of Pentacles. This is the ultimate of Pentacles, as and so this is representing, you hit the golden buzzer. It is raining money. There are, you have the mansion in the right neighborhood, in the right country. You've got the perfect partner, and you have your 2.5 children and your pets. You can have time. You even have time to stop and chat with the neighbors. You're in a really, really strong position. And so this energy is like the ultimate fulfillment that you can have in your lifestyle in a perfectly imperfect world. And then we have the Two of Swords. So this is where you should be, but this is where you are. And you were thinking about expanding. Okay, maybe if I expand and I move on from this place, maybe that would be the solution to the problem. You've been mulling over it. So this is representing an energy of being like undecided, and overthinking, and maybe with a closed mind. Because this person can only see 2 ways of possibly doing something. It has to either be this way or that way. And the energy is talking about someone who is leaking energy. It's exhausting them, like thinking about this problem over and over again, getting caught in this thinking loop. And with the feet turned out like this, it represents in body language like leaking energy. And in the upper body, you can see they're protecting their heart with their arms, crossed over. And that would come from this kind of energy here. And I feel like, like the right arm is holding the left arm back. And each of these swords here, the swords represent your intelligence and your, ability to discipline your mind. And also these swords are double-edged swords. So to really get creative solutions, you need to use your logic and your intuition, both to have a lot of creative solutions. And so the right arm is holding back the intuition. And that's what you need to use both. And it shows the new moon in the background here, because this is, if you want to do new shift and build new products and new shift, you have to be creative. And this represents like the new moon is a great time to plant seeds in the new and you know, get something moving. But this person has a blindfold on and they just can't see. They can only see these two ways, this way or that way, my way or the highway. And neither one is a satisfactory solution. So this person's like trapped. They don't know what to do. And this energy, what they need to do is use their intuition with the moon cycle, especially. It's super powerful. The blindfold represents not being able to see clearly. And, you know, a lot of times people will say, well, if I see it, then I'll believe it. But really, the human eye can only detect a very slim bandwidth of light from the spectrum of light. Like, so when we think we're seeing everything, we're not anyway. And this is indicating you need to go inward and use your third eye to be able to see. And so, and feel from your heart, what is it that you want to have come out of this situation? As I said, like if it's just about making money, money will not necessarily give you the lifestyle that you want. And so this is talking about, okay, really go inward and figure out what is it that you really want? What are your authentic desires? And then we have, a cup of love. So love is missing from your life. And that's maybe you haven't totally healed from this situation as of yet, but there is a cup of love coming in once you start recognizing that you need to feel more and think less. So being more sensitive. And this energy here, it's a shortcut. So giving into temptation. If this is your partner that gave into the temptation, then this could represent that they feel remorseful about it now, but it's too late because you're done with them. And so that's, you know, the kind of energy that I feel this is representing. And so this is saying, you know, stay on your path. Don't you know, get all distracted and get all worked up to the point where you can't think straight and you can't take consistent steps of actions towards your goals, because there is someone who has their eye on you. And this is when the Knight of Cups shows up, this is like the knight in shining armor, and this is like a grown-up version of the Page of Wands. This is someone that when the Knight of Cups comes in, he is someone that is, you know, dressed to the nines. He's the knight that you read about in romance novels and in the movies. This is a solid offer coming in for you. And this energy right underneath it represents like a lot of passion here. So this would be a very passionate love coming in towards you. Plus you have like the ultimate in fulfillment in your lifestyle. All you have to do is open up to it and open your heart up to it, to heal from this situation. And this person is going to, I feel they're in regret, because this was perhaps a very impulsive, but then when they got caught up in it, they got caught up in it. And I do think there was a lot of people gossiping and slandering, which quite often is the case when someone is in this position. Love is blind. I've come to that conclusion. You know, so we don't see what we don't see, because sometimes we don't want to see it, especially when it comes to matters of love. But at the very top, we have the Emperor. So the Emperor could represent this new love coming in. So the Emperor is all about performance, and he is, you know, someone that he even has his armor on underneath his robe, so that in a moment's notice, he would be able to get up and take advantage of an opportunity, go to battle if need be. He's someone that could really empower you to move forward in life. And it looks like it's the Emperor that wants to offer a cup of love. So let's take a look here. We have the Ace of Swords. So the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth comes in. Once we get the truth, a lot of times, then that's when we can start healing from a situation. It's when you don't know and everybody else knows and they're gossiping and slandering about it. And I feel like this could even represent one of these people, maybe, or even all three of them, who knows, was involved in this energy here. And it wasn't just this energy here, but there was pentacles. The pentacles probably were going. Your partner was using them to impress these people, bottom line. And so when the truth comes in, then this ultimate fulfillment comes in your lifestyle. And this is once you start using your, you open your heart back up and you allow yourself to feel again. You probably maybe numbed yourself because of the pain of this situation. There is an emperor's energy that is interested in you and wants to bring in a cup of love. But you have to, and you know, it's good. You've learned discernment now. An emperor energy is all four kings rolled into one person from the minor arcana. So this is like a very high quality individual. And the only way that an emperor would be interested in you is if your position has also been elevated. So if you learn from what's happened here, then you can move forward. So this is talking about having the discernment that you didn't have before. But there's this, you know, you'd rather be better than bitter. So you don't want to stay in this cold energy for the rest of, you know, your life. So you've got to be open to receiving the good that's coming in, and the money will be returned to you. With the Emperor's help, I feel like you will, you know, live a very good lifestyle and maybe move away from where you are. This sometimes represents actually moving to be able to expand your horizons and move forward. And I feel like the passion will be back in your life, and you're not going to miss these people. If these were friends of yours, they weren't really true friends because they knew, at the very least, they knew what was going on here and didn't tell you. So that's kind of, it's not the most fun reading, but it's random shift and I never know what's going to come up. It's just the way it is. Anytime that you get involved with the devil energy, you're not going to, quite often you're not, and this is what this is saying, whoever also was whatever they were promised by when they gave in to this temptation, they're not living the lifestyle they want to live either. They may have thought the grass was greener on the other side, and then they found out, oh, it was fake. That kind of energy. So I'm going to clarify this for those of you who want further clarification. And if you're leaving the reading now, thank you so much for your time and energy. Please do give it a like and comment if you receive value from it. I really appreciate it. It helps me build my channel. And for those of you who want further clarification, I'm using my Oracle, Tales from the Vector, T-A-I-L-S. It's something I started back in 2007. I completed all 64 paintings in 2020. And now I'm getting ready to bring it out. The numbers on these cards that I'm using represent the paintings in the order they are in my gallery on my website, talesfromthevector.com. I'll put all the information in the box below, and I will put the numbers in the order they appeared in the reading so that you know which paintings to look for. So we have aTOWER is coming in. Yeah, I feel like this tower is going to be a heavy tower for this person, because it looks like as much as you feel that you should have had more money here and more return for your investment, they are even in a worse situation. So this is talking about, quite often the tower does lead to divorce, and I feel that this person is in remorse or regret because of what they did, and you're in remorse or regret because you were married to them. And that's a big difference, because this energy is done. You're just like not going to put up with that in your relationships. And so this energy is talking about, we've got your Gemini energy. So Gemini energy is talking about communication, and you know, Gemini is the third sign in the zodiac, and it is representing kind of the energy of when your subconscious mind has been formed, and so you are now in kindergarten. And in kindergarten, that's when we start, like, every day you're at school, or 5 days a week usually you're at school, and you start to notice that other families live differently than you. Their parents are different, the teachers have different ideas, children are different, there's different colors of different races, that kind of energy. And so this is where we start to learn that about, you know, the world, like outside of our own family, basically our own home. And when the horoscope signs come up, I just want to make it clear that I'm not talking about an individual in these readings. I'm talking about the qualities, the strengths and weaknesses each of these signs has. The Gemini energy is very quick-witted and very intelligent and easily adaptable, really, in many ways. The Mercury, it rules over Gemini, and it's about communication. So Geminis tend to be very witty with their words and that kind of energy. So I feel like this would come more naturally to you. So I feel the blindfold is just representing you didn't want to believe what your intuition was telling you. I feel like you are good at creative solutions, just not when it came to this person. And I've come to the conclusion it's because love is blind. Bottom line. The ego and the karmic space, this is talking about keep your ego in check. When I say keep your ego in check, sometimes it could be about being boastful in that, but I don't feel that's the case. I feel like it's more like when spiritual people talk about like the ego, what they mean is when people believe that they're just a body, and they don't have like a spirit or a soul, and or that if they do, they don't really recognize it as being something that needs energy poured into that part of their life. And so sometimes we can start believing, our ego can start telling us, oh, you're just one individual. What can you do about the world? Nothing. Life sucks. You don't ever want to have love again. It's not worth it. Look at how painful this has been. That's not where you want to be. You want to be in a position where you can heal and move forward and enjoy the love in your life that you deserve. And then, learn from your mistakes and then move forward. And justice is coming in. So I feel in many ways the justice here could just be, justice is living, what do they say? The best revenge is living well. And so what happens is eventually the truth catches up with everybody from their actions. And, if you make the choice, okay, you learn from it, you learn to be more discerning, but you don't stay in this cold energy. The Queen of Swords is sometimes considered to be the coldest of the queens, but she's just that way because she's been there, done that, bought the t-shirt, she has the souvenir, and she does not want to repeat. And once she heals her heart, she goes back to her more warm, normal self. And so justice coming in represents the clearing of karma and the distribution of dharma for those people who've stayed on their path. The tower actually can be this is a reality check that comes in. And, this person is going to receive a very, wham, something just fell, the cat jumped a foot on my lap here. So this is an energy of, the reality check is going to hit them harder because I feel they are in regret for what they've done. They found out the grass isn't greener on the other side, and you won't take them back. You're done. And so this is the worst punishment of all. And for you, you have learned discernment now. And so when you get into this next relationship, it will be one that you are aware of what's going on, and you've learned to trust your intuition as well. So that will benefit you for making more money. The Magician represents an energy, it's an energetic upgrade. You have all the tools you need. You have infinite potential. And with this new relationship coming in, especially with an Emperor, it could be a pretty amazing journey for you. And I also feel that perhaps you were young when you and this other person got together, and maybe a little bit immature and not ready for a commitment of the sort that you made, because this is now Libra, and you notice that this is when you're a mature adult, and the Libra energy is about, you know, justice. It's the justice scales of justice. And that is like understanding that when you make a commitment like marriage or a strong commitment like that, that it is, you have to be mature, and you have to put some energy into it. You know, you can't just expect it to just work out. It doesn't work that way. And so if now, like if you're in this more mature energy and you're ready for that commitment, it's going to be something that you can really anticipate. And Libra rules, Venus rules Libra. Venus is in charge of love. So this is indicating that it's going to be a loving relationship, and one that you can really enjoy. And so this is talking about the Scorpio energy. This is talking about Scorpio is a sexual gladiator of the universe. And so you might have been, this may more have been a more lusting energy, like that when the two of you got together, and sometimes we can mistake lust for love. And I feel like it's good to, it's good to be very passionate, like in this energy with your partner, and it upgrading, like you want to be passionate about your new love, but you want to be able to recognize the signs of someone that is maybe not going to be able to keep their commitment. And you kind of know it, like I'm getting you just didn't want to see it. You didn't want to see it at all, and so you took a chance here, and which is good. This is how we learn. But this time around, it's talking about the hangman, and the hangman hangs from the tree of knowledge, and he's hanging upside down so he can gain a new perspective and see something from every angle before he makes the commitment. And then if there's any issues, you're going to notice it right away, because you've been there, done that, and you have the skill set now of being able to notice when something is going wrong. And if your intuition is yelling at you, you're going to be, now it's okay, I got it when you whispered at me. So the tower hits when your intuition is telling you, and the universe is trying to tell you through your intuition, there's something wrong here. And at first it's a whisper, then you don't do anything. So then it's the frying pan comes out, and you get hit over the head by the universe, and it's ow. And the universe is saying, pay attention, there's something you need to look at here. And yeah, I'll do it. And then you don't. And then the 2x4 hits, and then finally lightning hits your turret. And now you don't have a turret to be standing on, like this guy here. See? Now it's on fire, and you have to rebuild everything. So the reality check, when the reality check comes, it's because people weren't paying attention. And so when the tower hits, it's really hard. It's very harsh, because it happens suddenly, and it's always at an inopportune time. And at the time that it happens, you're not going to be, oh yay, a tower hit. You're going to be like freaked out maybe, and really upset. But maybe a year or so later, you'll look back and say, you know what, that was the best thing that ever happened to me, because it made me really take a look at my life. And so that's the energy I feel is coming in here for you. You will have that beautiful love. It's saying it's on its way. Just all you have to do is heal your heart and learn from what you've learned, and you're ready. So I do hope you've enjoyed this reading. It has a lot of common sense in it. Please do give it a like and comment if you have, and consider subscribing if you resonate with the energy of the channel. I will be back with another reading about random shift for you soon. Bye for now. Whoopee.